newspaper, and I want this thing to be published, please. I want it to be published tonight, immediately. I want it published on my page. I want people to understand a letter that was written in the Times of London, July 15, 1998. I repeat, the Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Let me read it for you. It was written by a white man. You understand? Written by a white man. His name is Peter Smithers. Peter, P-E-T-E-R, you have Peter. Smithers is S-M-I-T-H-E-R-S. He wrote it. He was writing to the British government. He's a white man, he's British. As I said before, the British people are very conscientious people. An average Briton is a nice human being. An average Englishman, an average Scottish man, an average Welshman, an average Irishman, they are wonderful, beautiful people. But once you take them away from the streets of London, or Belfast, or Glasgow, or Edinburgh, as the case may be, or Cardiff, and you put them in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, dealing with colonial matters or dealing with Africa, they turn into beasts, they turn into monsters. I don't know why. Somebody wrote a letter. It's called the Nigerian Lesson. This is in the Times of London. As I repeat, Times of London, Wednesday, July 15, 1998. Somebody kindly sent it to me, and I'll read it so that the whole world may hear. This is from Sir Peter Smithers. He's a knight of the realm. The proper sir, not the sir you have in the zoo. Only the come up with the knight, you know. These are the proper, these are the knights of the realm of the British Empire. Now listen. Sir, I'm now reading verbatim the letter written by Sir Peter Smithers to the Times newspaper of London. Listen, sir, during the negotiations for the independence of Nigeria, the view of the Secretary of State at that time, with which I agreed, was that in Nigeria, we should attempt to put together a large and powerful state with ample material resources which will play a leading part in the affairs of the continent and of the world. This was attractive, but it involved forcing several different ethnic and cultural groups into a single political structure. The negotiations were complex and very difficult. The chief problem, as I recall or I remember, relating significantly to the control of the police and of the military. Listen carefully, please. In the retrospect of 40 years, it is clear that this was a grave mistake, which has cost many lives and will probably continue to do so. It would have been better to establish several smaller states in a free trade area. Even some British people realized after 40 years of failed experiment called Nigeria. Sir Peter Smithers, who worked in the zoo colonial desk, he is writing, we wanted to build a country that is so big that we can control, more or less. And that very big country, our problem then was who to give the police and the army to. And they gave it to Fulani. The man is now saying, with hindsight, after 40 years, many people, he wrote this thing in 1998, not 2020, 1998. This white man knew that Fulanis were using army and police to kill people in 1998. He said, after 40 years of this experiment called Zoo, Nigeria, that they created, that it is a mistake. White man is a mistake. Now, he said, we should have gone for small states. Now, this goes back to our Aburi conference. Our people should be able to reason. This was the reason why Britain said no to Aburi. Because Aburi was about confederation. Ojukwu went to Aburi, agreed confederation, came back home in Enugu, and go and launched a war instead of implementing that Aburi that would have allowed smaller nations to emerge, but in a free trade zone called Nigeria. Gowon said no because British told him to say no. Because Britain wanted a large country that has influence in Africa that they can control. But to achieve that control, they needed to place the military and the police in the hands of the Janjaweed, Fulani, Miyetiala. And that was what they did. And that is why we are suffering till today. This man said people are dying. Let me continue. In exculpation, it must be said that we did not then have the examples of the collapse of Yugoslavia and of Soviet Union before our eyes. In other words, the man is saying that Nigeria, the zoo you have, Nigeria to some of you, is the same thing as Yugoslavia, the same thing as Soviet Union. And it is bound to collapse. That is what this man is lamenting in 1998. He is saying, we did not have the benefit of the collapse of Soviet Union or Yugoslavia to tell us what to do in the case of the animals in the zoo, Nigeria. Are you listening? This is from a British man, a high-ranking officer. He is a sir, he's a knight of the realm, Sir Peter Smithers. I will continue. It should now be clear for all, but the willfully blind. This is how intelligent this man is saying. It is clear to everybody, to both cockroach and rat, okay, Mochicha, everybody knows it is clear, unless you're living in denial, unless you are a denier of the truth, unless you are foolish. This is from a white man, please, not me. Unless you are willfully blind to see that it is extremely dangerous to force diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure such as that which is being built upon the foundation of the Maastricht Treaty. This man was saying the reason why Britain left the EU, the reason why Britain opposed, some of you don't know what is Maastricht Treaty, but I will tell you some other day. It was a treaty of European Union that Britain refused to sign. This man is saying the same mistakes of the past we are about to repeat. What is that mistake? To willfully join together. He said it is extremely dangerous. A white man is saying is that Nigeria as it exists today, Nigeria, is extremely dangerous because you are forcing diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure that is unsustainable. Now, recent history, according to this man, Peter Smithers, sir, of course, he's a knight of the realm. Recent history suggests that it will be best to complete the development of the common market and to call a halt to political integration in Europe. These are the people of Brexit. They don't want Britain to be a part of one big political superstructure. The man is saying the same thing we built in Nigeria that is costing lives. And who is this man that wrote this? He said, I am, sir, your obedient servant, Sir Peter Smithers. Listen to his title. Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Minister of State and the Secretary of State in the Colonial Office from 1952 to 1959. And he lives in Vico Makote in Switzerland. Are you listening? These are people that knew that putting a country together, people of diverse social backgrounds. In Igbo land, am I the same thing with a Fulani man? The answer is no. I am related to Efik, to Ibibu. I'm related to Asian, as they call it, to I am related to Igonomigo, the people who are there. I have relationship with Urobo. I know I can relate to Isoko culture. I can relate to Ishekiri culture. But can I relate to Fulani culture? The answer is no. Maybe even to an extent, I can relate to Yoruba culture, Yoruba culture, to an extent. But do you think I can ever relate to Fulani culture? Of course the answer is no. Because Fulani runs a feudal system, a rank-added system, where one big man stays at the top and gives you tea in the morning and asks you to go and stone somebody and you can do it. That's what they do. Do you see the difference between an egalitarian society and one that is so structured that order will come from the emir or from the Sadiki or whoever? We are not like that. That is not democracy. And that value system was what the Fulanis brought to Asorok. These are the things that your so-called social scientists and your political analysts don't understand. What is playing out in Asorok today is the same Janjaweed feudal system, where one person stays at the top and just keeps distributing money that they did not work for, money that they didn't earn. That is what is happening in the zoo. That same thing was what they brought to the center in Asorok, and some of you are too blind to see it. When we tell you that the zoo, Nigeria, is unworkable, try to understand there is no nation on this earth where you have divergent values, divergent cultures and traditions welded together into a nation is a lie. There is.
All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you. I greet and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. Of course, it's been a while while we are actually online. It's been a while, and then I don't know why Twitter is not updating my topic. It keep giving me one topic, Twitter. I'm not sure of the reason why Twitter keep repeating the topic, even though I have updated the topic. I update it each day I am online, but it is not updated on Twitter. I am not sure of the reason why it is like that. So, but we can proceed. So wherever you are watching from, please share the video, invite others to join. We will be watching to see if we are going to get more people into the program on Facebook. Because Facebook is actually, I don't know what's wrong. They've been attacking me. They block my page, one of my page, they block it. I'm still on review waiting for them. They just woke up in the morning and published my page, say I have violated something, which of course I have not even posted on that page in the past 2 weeks. So they just say I have violated something and they decided to unpublish the page. So, but it is okay, we will continue. We still have those small pages that are still actually pushing the, of course our main page is also under suppression by Facebook. So, but we will continue. There is no cause for alarm. We will send the message. Whoever I get the message will get it. The people. But if you share it, people will get it more. We are live and we are direct. It is actually 6 minutes on top of the hour, regardless of where you are. If you are in Biafra land, it is 6 minutes past 6 o'clock in Biafra land. It is 6 minutes past 6 o'clock in Biafra land. So share the video, invite others to join. I am going to put up my number because the topic that we are going to actually talk about, if you have any information with regards to that such topic, or the the situation of the hospital in Nigeria, if you have a bad experience that you have experienced in the Nigeria hospital, you can actually call in. We are going to be here for like an hour. So the number is on the screen, or WhatsApp number only. If you have had bad experience with Nigeria hospital, you can phone in. And then, because we are going to be talking about the healthcare system, just like this picture that is right in front of us. First one is P2B, and of course the media statement that he is making, which I understand it differently. Maybe you might not be able to understand it differently, but I understand it differently. Second one, it is the burning of Biafra houses in Nigeria, because the Nigeria army, they are targeting Biafran buildings, any building that is in Biafra land. If there is anything that is done within that vicinity that the militaries claim they don't want or they don't like, they will go ahead and start they will start a burning spree. The Biafran housing buildings, which Nigeria government, they have never made anything available. They don't give you housing allowances, or they don't give you anything in, just like you might have in some certain countries that is developed. They will give their citizens house to live, which they can call their own. But Nigeria, they can't give their citizens that are unemployed, they give them grant, they give free education. But in Nigeria, it is quite opposite, because even those houses that people will actually suffer all their life and they will build it, military will come into this community, or people in the military uniform, because if you think about these activities of such people, it is act of terrorism. To come into the house of people, displace these people, burn down the house, it is an act of terrorism which cannot be condoned any place in the world. There is no way a military that is, or security personnel that is from a sovereign nation will begin to burn the houses belonging to the citizens of such nation. It is an act of terrorism. So that automatically is telling us that these people, they are not military, but Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists in the military uniform. And we cannot miss words each time we want to address it. So the second picture in this collage is the state of our hospital. You can see the image of the hospital. It is two. This is actually beautiful to compare to the state of the hospital that I want to talk about, that especially in Biafra land. The next one of it is the outcome from the Supreme Court a few days ago. And there was something I heard from Michael Zokome, which is a gross violation of a detainee rights. And the other one is the passport that is making wave on social media, which talks about Tinubu's dual citizenship. And of course, it might not have any much significant effect towards the argument that is sitting in the court in Nigeria with regards to election rigging and selection making in Nigeria, because people can have dual citizen, but the most important thing is that the election that was rigged, and upon that election that was rigged, you will find out this passport now surfaced in the media space, where you will see that nationality, it says Guinea. Nationality, it says Guinea. Because even if it is that you are born in Nigeria and you obtain a passport from other nations, or you obtain their identity, the citizenship from other nation, they will still actually say the nationality. They can still write nationality, your country, but in a situation whereby it is written nationality Guinea, it means that there is something wrong and something is fishy about that. Because if you look at the passport, and you will see that it is original passport, there is nobody who will wake up to tell you that the passport is something that was made up, or that was created with artificial intelligence. There is no such. It is original passport. You can see the reflection right on the face of the photo ID there. So that reflection is enough to tell you that this is original passport. So let us begin. We are going to start first of all from the court proceedings and the complaint coming out from our legal team, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, whom is led by Michael Zokome. And what Michael Zokome said a few days ago, it is something that is very important that we address it. Very, very important. The reason why we must address it, it is for us to send this message also to the international communities, to the United Nations, for them to understand the gross violation of human rights or the rights of detainees in Nigeria. In this regard, it is arbitrarily detention against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because they are not following a due process during this detention. They are doing as they please. So I want to bring up this video, and then in this video I want us to actually look into what this video said. It is a very, very short video. I want us to look into this video to see what it said, and then we will now bring it up to exactly what we are talking about. So let me try to see if I will bring more people into the program on Facebook, because I can see that we are actually lagging a lot of, we don't have audience a lot on Facebook. So let's bring more audience to the Facebook, and then we'll proceed. So great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom, if you are joining us, kindly share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are watching from, invite others to join. It is very, very important. Share the video, invite other people to join. We are here live and direct to do it again. Just like I said, our number is on the screen. If you have, when we are talking about the situation of the healthcare in Nigeria, especially in Biafra land, which leads to the constant casualties reported and a lot of death reported in the hospitals in Nigeria, which is also the reason why people will say they go to hospital and they did a lab test, they have checked everything, they haven't found anything wrong with the person, even though the person is dying. So we need to talk about that situation and how people are treated, the modus operandi of this hospital management, what they do that endangers people's life, because hospitals are supposed to be a place where people get their medical checkup, where people are supposed to be helped regardless of their financial status. But we are going to talk about it. First of all, let us look into the statement made, or the complaint made by Michael Zokome with the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let us talk about it briefly. And before we go into another thing, I want you to pay very good attention to this.
For a stay of execution, and the Court of Appeal granted that stay of execution. So, the court was staying the execution of the liberty of a citizen, which the same court had already told to go free. So we filed an appeal against that order for stay of execution, and also cross-appeal against their main appeal. These things have been going on since October. What with the federal government, what do they normally do? They will file documents at the Supreme Court here. They will undertake to serve us, the respondent. They will hide the document. They will not serve us. They did that in November last year. It was when we went to the court in January this year to try to facilitate the hearing of the appeal that we discovered that they had filed a motion for extension of time since November last year, which they suppressed.
Oh, you were not served the motion that was filed for the extension of time?
We were not.
So
we were never.
Was that responsible for the delay in the hearing of this?
Yes. Everything, as all the delays, both at the Federal High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, have always been actuated.
So, you will understand exactly what he said here. He said that Nigeria is manipulating the process of court. In a very simple word, that's exactly what he is saying. The Nigeria government, which is the federal government of Nigeria, is manipulating the system, or the process rather, not the system, the process of the court. That Nigeria government will do some amendment. They will not notify the detainee or the lawyer to the detainee. With regards to the new development, Nigeria government will extend the time of hearing, or they will ask the court to extend the time of hearing. They will not notify the detainee or the lawyers. That's exactly what it is talking about, that any alteration that Nigeria federal government does within this case, they will not notify the legal team. If they file new charges, they will not notify the legal team. They will hide the documents, make sure that the legal team does not get notification with regards to all these things, which it is a gross violation of a human right or the right of a detainee, and which if there is a human right advocate that knows about the right and the abuse of right of a detainee, because even a detainee, they have their right that you cannot violate. Some of these rights are, if you violate some of the detainee's rights, it can actually nullify some of the charges that you have labeled against that such detainees. It is very, very important for the world to understand that Nigeria government, the federal government of Nigeria, they manipulate the process of the judiciary against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's case, which means Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is held on detention, on arbitrary detention, which is against his right as an individual. Most of the case, charges that was leveled against this man, it is frivolous. He holds no water. Yet they are using it to detain this man illegally. The Court of Appeal, the Court of a competent jurisdiction, declared him, acquitted him of all this crime, and they made a remark that no court will try him in Nigeria because Nigeria court has no jurisdiction with regards to the case of this man, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The reason why they said it is because according to the report coming out from Kenya, it says that technically Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was still found in Kenya. But of course, he is languishing in solitary confinement in Nigeria. That is the reason why, of course, and this is how these proceedings should be. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot be in Kenya and facing trial in Nigeria. Nigeria has no jurisdiction in trying somebody, as much as they did not go through extradition process. They did not go through extradition process, which will open up this trial from Kenya before they will come to a conclusion whether they will release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come back to Nigeria in order to answer for these cases that was charged against him. But that process was actually they override that process in order to. That's why the Court of a competent jurisdiction, the Appeal Court of Nigeria, said that squash those cases and say no court has jurisdiction to try Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria. And it is actually something that is very, very important and crucial, because you cannot try somebody you kidnap, because the only place Mazen Nnamdi Kanu could answer any case was supposed to be in Kenya if he was found to be a fugitive. But of course, he was not a fugitive. Now this boils down to who is it? Who are these organizations that helped for the rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? It can only be Britain. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. I don't think that Nigeria will be able to carry out such activities without the help of the big world. To go to Kenya, kidnap an individual, rendition them with a private jet to Nigeria, and the Kenya government did not say a thing, rather than releasing a report that technically he is still in Kenya. So it can only be those from the big world that carried out this. That is the reason why they are not looking for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which is their citizen. Because they did that for the sake of this selection process that just took place in Nigeria. Britain made sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was captured because they believe that he is going to interfere with their 2023 election, where they will determine who is going to be the manager of their franchise or called Nigeria, or the manager of their company called Nigeria. So they don't want such to be interrupted. That's why Britain made sure that they will go out there, capture Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, extraordinary rendition him to Nigeria. While at that, they are acting as if they don't know about it. But of course, you can see with the things that is happening around you, with the way this case is going, when the court of a competent jurisdiction declared their citizen free of all those frivolous charges leveled against him. Yet Britain did not compel, or did not even compel, because that is a violation of sovereignty. I can say Britain did not advocate for the release of her citizen in this regard. Now, what do you call such thing in the international law? Britain, upon that, they are there seeing the arbitrary detention of this man. They are there seeing the manipulation towards the processes of the court. They kept quiet. They kept mute. It can only mean that Britain are aware, and they facilitated this project of picking up this man in Kenya like a nobody and renditioning him to Nigeria, because if not, they will look for their citizen. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, of course, left Britain to Kenya. He left Britain to Kenya. Before he was in Britain. From Britain, he left for Kenya. In Kenya, he never returned to Britain. And the report and some court proceedings, which I don't know, that one I cannot actually judge within such proceeding, because those who were actually carrying out such proceedings, they have a complex, there is, I don't trust their activities and their judgment, because if you can understand that they filed up a case and the money that is actually funding such case is organization money. So in a situation whereby you are using the money belonging to organization to pursue a case, the organization is supposed to, be the ones to actually file that case or follow that case. But when you are using organization money, filing a case as an individual, it does not make sense. It means there is something very, there is something cookie, there is something fishy about it. That is exactly the, exactly what I found with regards to what the way British handle such case. Because they notice, of course, this case that is filed, it is among those who actually took part in the selling of this man. So we have to treat this case with however we want. And I told them, those who were involved in making up this case from the beginning, that this case you are filing to fail, you are planning to fail, but by you using organization money from Nnenayanya, filing a case on a personal profile. Had it been you use your personal funds to file such case, it is going to be better, because we are going to look at it and say that you cannot use your personal fund in order to file a case where you are accused of being part of those who betrayed Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But this is not the fund belonging to you, while then filing the case on a personal profile in the name of family of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So, in that regard, it is part of the reason why Britain will also turn it down, because they know that you cannot do anything. Maybe the money you will be taking in the name that you are going to get a best lawyer. Maybe you got a bogus lawyer, charge and bail lawyer, to follow up such case, and you are just for you to siphon some amount of money. Because there is no way, if you got a lawyer that know what they are doing, that will not compel British Parliament to actually look for their citizen who was kidnapped in Kenya, who took off from Britain for Kenya, and he was kidnapped in Kenya. Extraordinary rendition, on arbitrary detention. His right has been violated. When court cleared him up, they refused to release him. So there are many things to galvanize. There are many things to work around in order for Britain to be compelled to look for her citizen. So in that regard, I believe that they did not use a good lawyer to follow up this case. That is one thing that I have discovered, and there is a conflict of interest. So that was the reason why you will see, because even if Britain, no matter that it is in their interest for this citizen to be in the solitary confinement, because this citizen is exposing the illegal, indirect activities of Britain in Nigeria. The manipulations, the exploitation, economically, he is exposing them. So they don't want him to continue to expose such. So they have to work hand in hand with their stooge in the government in Nigeria in order to capture this individual and place him in a solitary confinement, in detention, arbitrary detention, where United Nations also notice that that detention is illegal. They talked about it, and at the end of the day, they did not follow it up. Because the best thing they can do, it is actually to see Nigeria as a nation that does not, protect human rights. Rather, there are nations that violate human rights. There are many things United Nations could do with regards to that, because case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not the only case of human rights violation in Nigeria. So it is on its peak, to the extent that United Nations has been informed, United Nations human rights has been informed. Even if we argue that United Nations does not police, or they are not law enforcers, but they can use their influence in order to sanction Nigeria somehow, for them to feel the wrath, or for them to teach them a lesson when they are violating the right of individual. You cannot not only be an international community and you are waiting only to be reactive towards the violation of human rights in Africa. You can not only be reactive towards extrajudicial killing, displacement in Africa. There are many things they could do to stop such activities. Violation of human rights. The reason why United Nations is set up is to protect the international human rights. Do you know why I am saying this? If you look around you, you see the amount of terrorism in Africa. It is the amount of terrorism in Africa. It is actually mind-blowing. Do you know why? The reason why there is a lot of terrorism and conflicts in many countries in Africa, it is because the government of these countries in Africa, they are not treating these people, their citizens, the way they should be treated. They are treating them like an animal. They are making them build anger, bottling this anger to the point that one day somebody from the big world who is in affluence will use their affluence to come and actually relate with these people. You have seen now that especially those in the Islamic community, they will go to them. You have seen now you are being oppressed, especially it is because of your religion. They will find a way to infiltrate these people, knowing that these people, they have already seen that where they call their government does not take care of them. So anybody who will bring money to them, give them gun, tell them, rebel against these people, why do you think they will not? Why do you think they will not? Such as like, if you see those whom their houses are being burnt in Biafra land today, do you think if there is somebody who is rich, he finds such people whom their businesses has been burnt by the military of Nigeria or by terrorists in the military uniform, and you find them and you sponsor them, you give them gun and you give them some money to take care of themselves, why do you think they will not accept that offer and start killing people? Why do you think they won't do it? Because they are angry. They know that they are living for nothing. They know that they can be targeted at any time. So they want to be the one targeting people. So that is one thing, one structure that is being created in many African countries. They will make sure that these people are deprived of their right is violated, they are killed, they are maimed, they are they will do everything, they are impoverished. So now they have something that whenever they want to infiltrate these people, they know how to go and engage with ordinary people on the ground. Then these ordinary people, why do you think they will not do the bidding of somebody who is giving them money? This is the problem of Africa. Unless we solve such problem in Africa, we are not going anywhere with all these people who are saying terrorism in Africa. We are going to do this. In Sudan, such as Sudan, such militaries that you see today that are fighting, killing each other in Sudan, those military, they have worked with AFRICOM. They have worked with AFRICOM. That is the reason why I have tweeted and asking this AFRICOM, where is the core value that you claim that you have been instilling in this military that you are training or you have worked with in Africa? Where is the core value that they have been bragging about, that they are instilling core value in these militaries? So where is the core value? Is the core value for them to come and start killing each other? Is the core value for them to come and start intimidating the ordinary people on the ground? Where is the core value? Because these things you see, just like I have said before, and I will say it again, it is about making sure they leave your own fingerprint as a black man, as African man, as their stooge in the scene of their crime. That's exactly what they are doing. Making sure that it will be your fingerprint that is found in the scene of their crime. Just like the way Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was captured, whose fingerprint was found in the scene of this crime committed against him. It is the British stooge, the imposter in Aso Rock, and the one who called himself Chief Justice, Attorney General of Federation. Those are the people that are doing the dirty, courtesy of their colonial master. That is how it is done in the world, even in the United States. Many people that have been killed, many activists, many African Americans that was killed because of one advocacy or one thing or the other. They are actually such. Okay, let me give you a typical example, like Bob Marley, like Peter Tosh, like Tupac. Many of them, whose fingerprint will you find in the scene of the crime? It is always somebody that is the same color of the victim. Somebody the same color as the victim is the fingerprint you will find in the scene of the crime. They are the ones wielding smoking guns. But who is the one who paid for this heat? There will be nowhere to be found. No matter how much investigation that is done or conducted, there will be nowhere to be found, because they will always want you to be the one. They call it black on black violence that is triggered by the system they set up. And we are allowing it because we are actually so, stupid that we cannot read the handwriting on the wall. We oppress each other. We kill each other. They use those you give power to be your representative in the global stage, the name of president, the name of governor, name of chairman, even in the name of traditional rulers. They will use them to actually oppress you, rip you of every right that you possess. If United Nations, coming to what I was saying, if United Nations is proactive in hearing people's cry, checking the activities, because they are in those nations that are members of it, hearing all these things and making sure that they put up a system whereby where there is a gross violation of human rights, such as the way it is happening in Nigeria, there is a consequences. It is not about bringing your soldiers to come and do the policing but there is a consequences. Just like the way it is happening between Ukraine and Russia, there has been consequences against Russia for invading Ukraine. It is not by going to police or look for how to police Putin. No, they place a sanction. Why can't they do such in these places where there is gross violation of human rights? Where you will find millions of people crying for the violation of their rights. Evidences are there. Statistics are there. Why can't they do something? Of course, we know that Nigeria is in a red alert list, but it doesn't concern them. That doesn't move them. They don't even know what is red alert list. They don't know what is grey listing. They don't know what is blacklisting, red alert listing. That is where Nigeria is. It doesn't bother these people. Then United Nations influence can actually attract that of ICC, whom are selective in the matters that they pay attention to. Because if they are not selective, the matters that they will have to pay attention to. Of course, you see in Ukraine, do you know how many people that have died in the past, is it a year plus? In the past 12 months plus, where, or more than 12 months, where there has been a war or invasion. It is less than 30,000 people that have died within this war. But Biafra war that took place more than 50 years ago, more than 3.5 million women and children were killed. So, does it mean that ICC is blind to go for Gowon? The same Gowon want to rub it on our face by booking a church service to come to our land. Does it mean that ICC didn't hear it or BBC did not expose it? Even if BBC, we know BBC couldn't expose it, but we have been exposing it. Does it mean that ICC does not get Twitter? They don't see these tweets that we are tagging them. Does it mean they are not seeing them? Does it mean that ICC is not seeing the killing that happened at Lekki Tollgate 2020? Does it mean that ICC does not see Wike killing people, massacre in Obibo, ethnic cleansing? Does it mean that ICC is not seeing them? United Nations is not seeing them. They don't have to police. I am not calling on United Nations to police, but they can use their influence to bring ICC to intervene in this thing. The last time I checked, I believe Nigeria is actually a signatory to the Roman Statutes. So why is Russian president targeted? Why are they calling South Africa government to arrest Putin? Why? Why? It is actually mind-boggling. Because when you look at these people and their double standard, it is actually something that we can see ourselves. They're not even hiding it. They are not hiding it. They are so proud of their double standard. Very, very proud of their double standard. Yet, these people are the people calling on South Africa to arrest a nuclear powerhouse. You know what boggles my mind? At least if South Africa was not compelled to destroy her nuclear weapon post-apartheid, if they were not compelled to destroy her nuclear weapon post-apartheid, I will say maybe it will make a little bit of sense. Do you know why? You are calling a second world country. You are calling a second world country to arrest a nuclear power, which you people have labeled a terrorist. You have labeled this nuclear powerhouse a terrorist. If they kick you out, try to bring yourself back up on Facebook, because I can see that they have started kicking people out. They kick you out, try to bring yourself back up. Very, very important. Because we are going to send this message. We are not going to continue to pretend about it. So, I know that so many of you does not know that South Africa had a nuclear weapon that was post-apartheid. They were advised to destroy it. It was buried, I believe, according to the history I've seen, 2.6 kilometers in the ground. 2.6 kilometers in the ground. Somewhere in South Africa there. So, after, making sure that these people destroy their nuclear weapon. Now you are calling on them to to arrest or capture this individual that you have seen as an American threat, a threat to America, a threat to Europe. Now you want to drag South Africa into this mess, because it is going to be a mess. It is going to be a mess. This is how Africa will always be brought in between. Now, if we have to talk about, of course, we know the activities of George Bush, the activities of some United States ex or presidents emeritus in Iraq, and even recently Obama in Africa. To be specific, killing of Muammar Gaddafi, who has a dream, a healthy dream for Africa. Obama. Now that remind me that Martin Luther King dreams has never manifested in America. The dream of Martin Luther King have never manifested yet. He had a dream where a black person will be the president of United States. It is still to manifest. It is not Obama. Obama is not the dream. For those of you who believe that you have celebrated the dream, it was not the dream. Shame to that dream if it was. Shame on it. So we are still waiting for such dream to happen. Meanwhile, Obama is not a black person. He's not a black man. He's a white guy. He's a white guy. Because we should actually be very, very factual about this. If you are fathered by any race, you belong to that race. If your father is a white guy, your mother is a black guy, you are a white guy. No matter how black you can be, you are a white guy. It is very, very simple. I'm not trying to be discriminative or to be racist about it, but this is reality. That is the reason why, even if you read the Bible, it talks about the seed of Abraham. It never talks about the seed of Sarah. The seed of Abraham is Abraham. You can never see the seed of Abraham being Sarah. No. So no matter how black you might look, you are still a white guy. So let's be realistic about it. It can never be the dream of Martin Luther King. It is yet to come. Don't be deceived. You cannot give us that dream, that the dream came to destroy Africa. Destroy the only man that has dream for Africa. A fatal dream. The same dream that the BRICS is going to carry out. The same dream that Europe and America are so scared of for BRICS to carry it out. It is the same dream such man had for Africa. And you are telling me Obama is an African. The way people will say Obama, African man who will become American president. You guys are delusional. Very, very delusional. So in this regard, let me not lose the side. They are calling African country to go and arrest Putin. Hey. This is being targeted. This is being targeted, I can assure you. Such country is targeted by this big world, one way or the other. And such country must be very, very careful in whether they eventually say they don't want him to come or they want him to come, whether they say he shouldn't go. Actually, it is important that such countries should be very careful. Because there is a reason why all these things are actually coming out. But in this regard, I believe this country will be very, very intelligent in making their decision. I believe that it is not a right move for any country in Africa to do this job for these Europeans or America. They can go to Moscow and arrest Putin. They can go to Moscow and arrest Putin if they want to arrest Putin. But not on African soil. Even if he comes, you cannot finish what you will start. Even if he comes, he can come if it is for your own advantage. Because everyone has a policy. If it is for your own advantage, invite him. You are not the one who sent him there to go and invade Ukraine. And you cannot do this job that you know you won't be able to do. Every country is doing what is good for them. That is exactly the way it is. So, I advise such country. You can invite this man if it is really necessary, if his presence is going to be significant towards your achievement during this BRICS summit. He must be there. No one is going to touch him. No one should touch him. Because you cannot finish what you will start. It is dangerous. They want to bring you in between this. This nonsense they have dragged Ukraine. And Ukraine president is going about taking pictures with big man. He is happy he's taking pictures with big man. His country is being destroyed. All these things this is manipulating people into going into such things that will destroy them. That's exactly what they are trying to do with our African country. But I believe that they will take a good position, a wise choice. But in my own opinion, and if I have to say anything, he should go to that place. He should do his things. He should go back. If they want to track him down, they should use their warjet and track him on the air. I know they are capable of it. We are in the era of 4IR, but not in the soil of Africa. We cannot put Africa that their condition is already worsened. You put them in a situation such as being in between Russia and Europe, because that is always, like I said, they will always want your fingerprint to be found in the scene of their crime. It is high time we stop letting them. Let them place their own fingerprint in the scene of their crime. Let them deal with it. It is not our problem. Our problem here has not been dealt with. Gowon killed more than 3.5 women and children with the watch of Britain. BBC was the media platform outlet that actually took the documentary of it. Why is Gowon not being seen as a fugitive or a terrorist? It is a war crime. Killing women and children, non-combatants. It is a war crime. Why is it not recorded? Why is it not being talked about? Why? So, if you want to start if you want Africa to be, to do such things, you need to start treating them like human being, not a monkey. Not dictating for them, not setting the bars and force them to roll with it. Africa, we are human. We are not a monkey that you see us. We are human. And there is nothing that has ever made us to look like or to behave like monkeys, except the system that you have implemented and forced us to it. That is the system that is making us vulnerable for your manipulation. It is the system. And if we don't kick back such system, we can never make it. No matter how much we try. If we cannot start kicking back such system, we can never make it, no matter how much we try. So, if Europe or Roman states, which is ICC, if they want to start doing whatever they want to do, they should start from the ones that happened in the past. First of all, our own is more than 50 years old. Gowon is still alive. And all these people who participated, Buhari, Nigeria president, was part of the genocide committed against our people, ethnic cleansing committed against our people. He is going around touring the world. He has never been questioned. Why were you part of this genocide against the Biafran people? The only thing they told us, no victor, no vanquish. After killing more than 3.5 million women and children. Who does that? They tell you no victor, no vanquish. What does that mean? Under the watch of Britain, Great Britain. Under the watch of Great Britain, BBC, British Broadcasting Commission, was the ones who covered this war. They saw this crime. They never brought it to the open. That is the reason why so many people don't know about it. Why the time we started exposing it, if you think about it, our people were made to be like disformed. Who does that? You supply one part military, you give one part military supply, sabotage the other part not to access military supply, because you are the ones who make the law, you are the ones who enforce the law, you are the one who complain, you are the one who is the law court. Because Aburi, Ojukwu negotiated in Aburi. On the way coming back, Britain called Gowon, say no, which led to the declaration of Biafra in 1967. In 1967, which Britain helped Nigeria. The countries that helped Nigeria to kill 3.5 million women and children in 1967, Egypt was involved, and they will apologize at some point. Egypt pilot was involved, who was involved with the military activities. British weapons held at our people. Russia weapon held at our people, because British managed to convince Russia to supply weapons that they will use to kill us. If Russia decide to amend or to make up for what they did to us, we will accept them with open arms, because they were not the initiator. They were not the initiator. Now, in all these things, our people, French was the only nation who was smuggling weapons for our people. That is the reason why you see in your curriculum, those early age, you see in your curriculum you were being taught French. You were being taught French in your curriculum, because French was the ally, was seen to be the ally. Without, I know their intention is never good, but they were the only country who was smuggling weapons for us. When Britain find out, they sabotage such. They sabotaged it, make sure it doesn't happen. So, it was a genocide. Planned and committed against our people, Biafran people. Today we have come back to it. And this time around we are going to get Biafra. There is no Jupiter that is going to stop us from achieving our freedom, because the violation of our right is still in place. Of course, you see, because Peter Obi is a Biafran, his mandate was stolen from him and gave to a sickly man who has a permanent hospital bed in Europe, who goes around carrying drips under the suit or under the regalia. This is the type of man they will always give you to be your president. Just like Buhari in 2015. A sickly man who later died, and at the end of the day, they gave you a picture. You are being led by a picture. An imposter. Nigeria could not even desire for a DNA test to be conducted on the man they call their president. The same way it might happen, or it will happen, if eventually they do all this shenanigan and they give it to the old man. If he die, of which he will. I'm not wishing him, but that is the reality of it. The man is not fit. Even if he doesn't, the people who place him there will kill him. Because that is the reason why they say Muslim ticket. If something happened to him, they might put a mask. Or they will use the Muslim ticket to continue their job. So having seen all this, it brings us to that point that the reason why that war happened was not corrected. Rather, it became worse. The no victor, no vanquish game that Britain advised them to play with us, after killing more than 3.5 million women and children, by blocking the food supply. Blocking the food supply. They saw that not giving us weapons, depriving us from military supply, did not stop us from fighting to achieve our independence, our sovereignty, which was there before or pre-colonialism. They saw they have to block the food supply to make sure that malnutrition will kill our people in mass. Because God gave us that talent that we can be able to manufacture what we are going to use. During that war, our university graduates, they started manufacturing stuff, bombs, ammunitions, which we use to hold that war for 3 years. They saw that they have to block the food from coming in. That is a genocide. That is an act of terrorism. Who is being charged for such act of terrorism? Nobody. You want me to support you when you call Putin a terrorist. He is no terrorist. He is no terrorist. You are the terrorist. Those who call him terrorist. You are the terrorist. Because you enact a law to use it to manipulate and intimidate and suppress people who you call the second world country. In this place where you call the second world country, where you steal all the resources that made you the first world country, how long do you want us to bleed before you know that we have bleeded enough? How long are we going to bleed before you know that we have lost all the blood that we have? Before you let us be. You don't get enough. Greedy dogs. That's what you people are. You don't get enough. You don't get enough of our blood. Because our blood is the reason why you guys are being called the first world country. Allow us to breathe, because we cannot breathe. If there is a law enacted in order to tackle international problem, which is, if it is this law is Roman status, it must be able to deal with problems that existed, or will I say existential problems, pre-Putin invasion of Ukraine. They will solve this problem from the beginning, so that if you call any country and say that we want you to support us, we will support you. These countries will gladly support you because you are doing things accordingly. You are not favoring anybody. That's how it's supposed to be. We are not fools. The fact that you call us monkey does not make us a fool. It's just that you don't remember that the English word you use all the time The only thing that is constant in life is change. We are waking up to that change. You need to make peace with it. We can no longer do you dirty. You can no longer leave our fingerprints in the scene of your crimes anymore. We are looking for what is good for we are going to be looking for things that are good for our own people. We know that Britain will never give us freedom. We know that. They will not. They are hustling with our freedom. So that is the reason why we will explore every means possible in order to get our freedom. We are not actually going to be prejudiced for saying it. It has gone long enough. More than 50 years of oppression. More than 50 years of displacement. More than 50 years of slavery. Neo-slavery. Where all of us are running away from our places. The first slavery was you were taken by force. This time around, you will transport yourself to them. And then you will start doing menial jobs. You think, we are in Obodoibo. You think life is okay. Other people, you find them bragging, telling you they have this, they have that. Where they are nobody. You are just a slave. If you don't know, you know it. You are a slave. Because you leave your place, your country, running away because of economic exclusion, because of intimidation, because of extrajudicial killing, police brutality, military even on the road, collecting bribe from you, killing you, beating you up, intimidating you, no economic opportunities. That's the reason why you run away. And you call there, you are bragging. I am this, I am that. You are nobody for all I care. The earlier you understand it, the better for all of us. We are slaves. Anybody who leave their country of origin, you didn't leave it to go and seek for investment elsewhere. You go there to get menial jobs. If you are good at saving, you save some money that will help you to, transition. It is a new slavery. The system. Because they introduce a system that will make sure you run away from your country in order to come back to do that same work. Those who were compelled before in the name of slavery. You will continue to do those menial jobs. That is the menial job. Because those ones they were forced to do it. This one you are doing it with all pleasure because you don't have opportunity of such job from where you are, where you came from. So you need to do everything possible, everything it takes to do that menial jobs. That's it. Such system is system that we need to make sure we abolish in our lives. Such system is the reason why you find this Fulani feudal system in Nigeria making your life miserable. That such system is the reason why you, after election, they select somebody that the INEC will select, their favorite. And that person will continue to kill you. Just are you not disappointed that the man in Asoro came to apologize to you? Apologize on what? The same thing he's apologizing is the same thing he's still doing. He is sitting on your head telling you, I'm sorry. Who does that? How can someone be beating you up, telling you, I'm sorry, but I have beaten you, continuously beating you up, telling you, I'm sorry? Who does that? Because they believe that you don't have your conscience with you. Or no, you don't have your, what do you call it? Your consciousness. Your consciousness is no longer with you. So anybody can toil with you. Anybody can do anything with you. At the end of the day, they will say, and you will find some people, I won't insult them anymore. Because I can understand They are no longer conscious. They have been destroyed. Because there is some point of ignorance, it destroys you. So they have been destroyed. You will find them, hey, Buhari has apologized to country. This man is a good man. You will find people doing that. Because you have been introduced from the beginning that you will learn how to live with this system, that nobody is going to be there for you. Violation of your right, even when you are detained. Violation of your a prisoner's right. They violate it. Every day. The same applies to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That's why the lawyer is crying. The lawyer is complaining that Nigeria is manipulating the process of court. So that is, that means that these three arms of government, judiciary, does not exist. It doesn't do they are not allowed to do their job the way it's supposed to be done. They are being manipulated every day. Why? Because you have a system that can never allow you. You have a system that will never allow you to do anything. Now, that brings me to the hospital. The hospital in Biafra land. But before I go there, I am calling on international United Nations human rights. Now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is on arbitrary detention in Nigeria. His right is being violated. The court processes are being manipulated. That if there is an amendment made to the charges, if there is a court extension, the date or time frame extension, they will not notify the detainee or their lawyer. That is gross violation of human rights that can actually nullify every cases filed against this individual, because there is something about it. If they can file a case, if they can amend the charges without notifying the detainee or the legal team of the detainee, it means that case is null and void. It is nullified. That's the way it is. But Nigeria is not a country that works with law. It is a country that works on arbitrarily. So, we are going to leave it here. When that boils down to the situation of the hospital in Nigeria. If you look at the situation of hospital, that is the reason why I placed my number here. The situation of the hospital, I think let me discuss it last, so that I can, if I will have time to take some calls, I take one or two calls about it. So those who have experienced such things in the hospital of Nigeria. Now, let us come to P2B, because all these things that is happening in Nigeria right now, they are going to court, they are doing this, they are doing that. You will believe there is something going on. Negotiation is also going on behind the closed door. Negotiation is going on behind the closed door, as it is that they are going to court. This is politics. A political game is a game that when it is being played, if you don't understand it, you will be sold right in front of your eyes without you noticing that you are being sold. That is politics. That is very important. That is why it is very important for the young generation in Africa to start following international politics. I didn't say you can engage in politics. Start following international politics, not Nigeria politics, because it's too dirty. International politics is hustling for the sake of their country. For the sake of their country. But Nigeria politics is hustling her own people for the sake of their pocket. Have you now seen the difference between the two? Maybe we will start actually discussing international politics. We will start talking about it more, because it will help our young people a lot. Now, Peter Obi might be you will not know that he's going to be negotiating with these people he's in court with. Because in every situation where you are in court with people, some lawyers will be also especially legal aid. Those who work with legal aid or who have been, exposed to legal aid, they mostly want to settle out of court. So, in this regard, you will not understand that these people whom are going to court, they are politicians. They might even be settling out of court, negotiating. You will not know. That's why I came with this piece. That's why I decided to come with this piece. Let me see if I will be able to bring it in here. Of course, I made a short video about it. Of course, it is not going to trend because of Facebook, what Facebook is doing with our platform. I came with this piece.
We need a new Nigeria.
Just one moment. Now listen to it.
A Nigeria where those of us, people who were son of nobody, will be great, live well, have a job, earn a living. That's all we want. And I'm sure Nzukumuna on their own will play their part. We will continue to play our part. I enjoy all of you to know that this new Nigeria is not going to be easy, because we have people who have lived off this confusion for a long time. They are not going to walk away. All of us must stay until they go away, because they will go. We need a...
Did you hear that? It is a very, very short video. What he is implying now, he is implying that even if he doesn't get his mandate right now, we should have patience. Another 4 years is coming. We should be here. We should be, make sure that, because for all of them to go away. How are you going to be doing nothing for all of these people that you have discovered that they are sabotaging everything you are doing for the benefit of the people, for the people that are nobody to become somebody? You are telling us we are going to watch and wait until they are gone away. How are they going to go away? When their children are warming up, that the children of these same people are sent abroad, taught this dirty politics, they will come out to be worse than their parents. And they will be your leader. So how they will continue to recycle themselves into the system. And somebody will wake up and tell you, no, we have to wait. Because the next thing you will start hearing probably is that you have to wait another 4 years. They have done this. Violence is not the only solution. They will always tell you violence is not the only solution. So this one is not the only solution. We have to wait. We will wait for them to diminish. The problem of Nigeria, the people who bring this problem, they don't finish. They don't diminish. You need to kick back against the system for the system to actually work in your favor. Because this system is created never to work for you, never to work on your favor. So how will you now fold your arms and start waiting until they are gone away? Have you now seen the manipulation out of court discussions? It is going through. They might tell him, let me go now. Emiloko will tell him, take this $100 million. Let me just go. Just give me 4 years. I'm old now. Just 4 years. You will be the next one. At least you have marketed yourself. Those are the words that will be discussed. And someone will be coming to tell you, that is how we do it. Any day Peter Obi will come and tell you, without telling you they have stolen our mandate. We now need to be diplomatic, do any diplomatic work to make sure that this system does not oppress you anymore or bring things that will never favor you anymore. That is the way he needs to speak. Other than that way, I am telling you, because if you fold your arms and watch these people, they will continue to recycle their failure. They will continue to recycle their oppression. They will continue to recycle the evil that they are doing against you. Look at it. In Biafra land, people's houses are being demolished by military. People's houses are being burnt down by the military. Why? Why are they burning people's houses? Why? What will you say is the reason why Nigerian military? Is it in Nigeria constitution that a police and military will go to a society or a community, even though there is criminal activity in this community? Does he give you the right to destroy a property that you did not give to this community? Nigeria does not have any policy that build house for the poor or create anything life or good or grant to the poor. Nigeria does not have it. But their military is going about doing burning spree our houses. It is now the high time people in those communities that are targeted by military in Biafra land. It is now time for you to come together and devise a plan. Defend your property. No one is going to give it back to you. Government will never rebuild it for you. They will never. These are the people that are doing it because they want you to be in abject poverty. So that tomorrow if they come out and say, go and snatch that ballot box, you will go because you have no choice. You have no hope. That's why they call you names all over the world. That's why you will find somebody who will swallow a drug, knowing that he's going to be killed in Indonesia. They will swallow it and go there and get killed because they have nothing and they don't have hopes anymore. They don't have hope anymore. How long are you going to fold your arms and watch people lead you to your death? How long are you going to watch people to destroy your properties and you say they are military? These are not military. These are terrorists in military uniform. Because it is act of terrorism for a military to go into a community. This is not a military regime. If it is military regime, we will say it is the tyranny of the military regime. It is not a military regime. This is a civilian regime. Democracy. Democracy. For a military to come to a particular community, burn up to 10 houses, burn them down. Dude, it doesn't make sense. It does not. Even if those houses have committed a crime, there is a perpetrators of crime or heinous crime hiding in those houses, it is court to decide whether these houses are going to be confiscated or going to be demolished. It is for court to decide. So these are not military. They are terrorists in military uniform, so you need to treat them as one. Communities need to unite and treat these people as the criminals that they are. I am not inciting violence, but this is the kingdom of God suffered violence, but the violent take it by force. You cannot watch them demolish the house that you suffered clean sweat so many times to erect, and somebody will come overnight and say there is criminal activities in this area. They demolish it, they burn it down without the order of court. Court will never advise anybody to demolish your house because they didn't build it for you. No matter what, they didn't build it for you. Except if there is any state, and if you are a government official and it is state money you laundered in order, you have fraud and corruption, that's when they can confiscate your building. But they don't have right to send the military without a court order. There is no order of court that warrant burning down and demolition of civilian houses. No, that is terrorist activities and must be tackled as terrorist activities. If you continue to fold your arms, these people will screw you over. These people will destroy your life. These people will make you go and swallow drugs to go to Indonesia. You will die. Because these are the things that lead us to it. You will think, this person is just doing it. He wants to be on a fast lane. These people have placed you on a fast lane. Because there is no other opportunity for you to survive other than going through fast lane. And you are destroying the names of us who are good. Whenever we provide our passport, it will be like all of them are the same. Oh, that's why we don't want to be in such nation anymore, who compel their citizens through the system they are using to go and commit crime in order to survive. No, because you will not give them any opportunity. The inequality in Nigeria, it is one that is you can never match it with inequality in any country in the world. Inequality in Nigeria. That is the reason why these children want to use their mother for money ritual. That is why people want to swallow drugs to go to Indonesia, to go to China, where they will be killed. That is because of inequality. People know, they will tell you that if you don't have money, hide your face. And it is true. So if you cannot get to such point, if you become sick, hospital comes in, you will die. Because now, we're going to the hospital. Hospital in Nigeria, the situation of hospitals in Nigeria, such as what you see here. Let us just zoom these things that we have here. Let us zoom it. These things that we have here. This is hospitals in Nigeria. This is a beautiful hospital in Nigeria. A very beautiful hospital in Nigeria. Did you see the situation of things? That is it. I call it a beautiful hospital in Nigeria. Have you seen the situation of things? This is hospital in Nigeria. You see mattress on the floor. Even this is not showing properly, where you see people putting their blanket on the floor, sleeping on the floor, because there is no hospital bed. Now, when you arrive at this hospital, you will now see inhuman treatment. Number one, when you are arriving in the hospital, you will pay for needle to give you injection. You will buy it separate. You will buy a drip that you are going to drink in a hospital. Separate. If you don't have money to buy it, you have signed your death warrant. You have signed your death warrant. Number two, you are going to buy, if you are going to give birth, you are going to buy Pampers. You are going to buy those things that you are going to buy all these things. If you don't have money, it means that you are dying. When I mean Pampers, I did not mean Pampers for your unborn child. Pampers that they will put for you under a woman that is pushing a baby out. Because sometimes they make number two. So you will have to buy all these things. You have to buy everything. Anything you will use. If you don't have money, if you don't have them, you will not be admitted into the hospital. You have to die, or you have to go back home and die. That is the reason why people will come and tell you, when somebody's leg is swollen, or when someone is having, what is called ulcer, leg ulcer, or kidney failure, which the symptom comes to the leg and get the leg swollen, they will say they have they have gone to hospital everywhere, nothing was found. How do you go to hospital everywhere, nothing was found? Anything that is doing you is a medical condition that need to be detected. If it is not detected in that hospital, it means that the hospital does not have competency to be called a hospital, because a lab test is conducted, treatment is treated. Once you suspect, with your experience as a medical practitioner, when someone gives you their symptoms, you give them a medication. When such medication did not work, now you need to conduct a lab test. And when you conduct a lab test, Then, if the lab tells you something, then which you need to treat it. If you discover there is a protein in the urine, there is this in this, there is that in that, in their blood test, and you discover such, you treat them. If the sickness persists, then you need to conduct another lab test based on your experience as a medical practitioner. You will conduct it until you find the root cause of the problem. You will do lab tests in different form, tests for cancer, tests for HIV, tests for kidney, tests for this. You will be continuing TB, tuberculosis. You will continue to do this test. It will be until you find out what is the problem of this person. Not because you just go to lab, one lab test, one blood result, blood sample you took to lab, and after it comes back, they will tell you, and this type of one blood test is for one particular test. If they take your blood right now, they tell you they are going to lab, do lab test. That blood is for a particular lab test. Particular. It is not holistic. It is not holistic. One blood for lab is not holistic. It is something they will use to check whether you have postrate. If they want to check postrate, particularly, they check for postrate. If it's clear, they come and tell you it is clear. Now you will go home and say the lab check, they didn't find anything. These are ignorant that is in our people. Then the one they tell you it is somebody that is bewitching you. Nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. If they want to conduct a test for HIV, it is only HIV for that particular moment. They conduct a test on HIV. If you are clear, if you are negative on HIV. If you still sick, they have to conduct a test for tuberculosis. They have to, through your symptom that you are explaining to these doctors, that will lead them to what test they are going to conduct. That's how to find illness. Sometimes you have to conduct maybe 5 or 6 lab tests, blood tests, before you find out what is really wrong with that person. Each test comes with its treatment. Each test comes with its treatment. If the medical condition is not improving, you continue to do a lab test. But in Nigeria, one lab test, one blood, once they pull maybe blood from your vein and go to take it to the lab, and at the end of the day, they come back, you say, no, they didn't find anything. Even if it is a blood test for COVID. No, COVID doesn't use blood test, it uses swab. Even if it is a blood test for HIV only. They say, no, they didn't find anything. You will now generalize it. That is the problem. Because it is expensive. It is not accessible. These hospitals. That's why people are dying every day. That's why you will see somebody who have a minor medical condition, they go to hospital, it becomes worse. Because some people are bogus doctors who does not know what to do to a patient. All they are after, it is the money that are going to make out of this patient. And all these systems need to be changed. All these systems, governors in Biafra land, they need to look into the activities of these hospitals. And you are looking into the activities of this hospital, you cannot dictate for them because you did not subsidize them. You didn't give them subsidy. You did not actually support them. That is the reason why healthcare system that is supposed to be public hospitals, wherever you are in the developed countries, you have access to medical care. Anytime, whether you have money or not, you have access. That's it. So why in Nigeria, that is biggest economy, you don't have access to medical care? Why? Because these people who call themselves your leaders, they are greedy dogs. You continue to watch them without doing something You continue to die. Your loved ones will continue to die in front of you without you doing nothing because you don't have money. There is no avenue to make you money because in the hospital in Nigeria, once you come in, money, but a card. You need to buy your card, money, which is normal. You need to buy if you have to get injection, you need to go and buy it outside of the hospital from chemist, whether it is a fake or original. You have to buy it. You need to buy your drip. You need to buy your drip. You need to buy your, you need to come with your food, whether it is a government hospital or whatever. Imagine all these things. People are dying on a daily basis. People are dying on a daily basis. Why? Why is medical hospitals so is a most difficult thing for someone to assess? So the wickedness of these leaders is not even they are not even exempting hospital medical care in their wickedness. They don't exempt hospital medical care in their wickedness. Why? It is a living in Nigeria is signing your death warrant, except if you have money. So where is the most unequal country in the world? It is Nigeria. If you don't have money, these people who call themselves the leaders, when they get sick, they fly themselves abroad because they don't make provision. They haven't made provision for good hospitals. They fly themselves abroad. When you get sick, you die in Nigeria. Because once you are able to pay for one lab test, they will say, we have taken him. They have conducted all the lab tests. There is nothing. They didn't find anything. You die. Because of the incompetent medical practitioner. Sometimes they are not incompetent because there is no resources for them to do their work. There are many incompetent ones, but most of the time the case is there are no resources for them to carry out their work as professionals. Then people are dying like a rat. The state of the hospital, smelling. If you go to their hospital, you find blood everywhere. You find a mess everywhere. You can even get infection inside the hospital toilet. You can get sick inside the hospital toilet in Nigeria. Why? Why is it so? Have you now seen the reason why you need to be free? You need to be free. If you have experienced such hospital that I am talking about, if you know that you are familiar to what I am talking about, you can actually call and share your experience with us. I think I have overstayed my time in front of the light. I am actually feeling it right now. So it is very, very important that you need to know that you need your freedom, and you need to do everything, whatever it takes. You need to make a diplomatic move. You need to do whatever it takes to get your freedom, to be free from these greedy dogs, greedy people that are presiding over your life in the name of leaders, because they are secured, their children are secured, and these people are sitting on your money. Your governor is sitting on your money. Your president is sitting on your money. Your traditional ruler is sitting on your money. All these people cannot function without your money. It is the money that belongs to all of you. They are taking it for themselves. So what are you going to say about it? You are going to fold your arms like this and continue to die. You watch your child sick and you don't have money to take them to hospital. These children will see you as their hero. Daddy, my head is paining. Daddy, my stomach is paining. Mommy, my this is paining. You will be helpless. What are you going to tell to these children? You watch them die. Is it good? Is it something that is it a good experience? No, ask yourself that. So these are the reasons why you need to do what you can to be free from that Nigeria. That's why we call it Zoological Republic. It is the only reason why we call it Zoological Republic. You don't have access to anything. There is no free lunch. There is no free lunch in Nigeria. Nothing. The most unequal country in the world, it is Nigeria. Because the money is there. The resources that generate this wealth is there. If Nigeria is poor in resources, it is a different task. But they are very rich. But who is benefiting from this? The gang of thieves you call your leaders, plus Britain, your colonial master. That is the reason why they put up the amalgamation. Everybody in Nigeria is aware of what I'm talking about, just that you cannot wake up to tell yourself the truth. Because most of you, your religious preachers will tell you, no, it is about faith. You have faith. It will be good tomorrow. The same problem we are facing in all this religious doctrine is the same problem we are facing in our education system. Because in religion, they will give you theory of the Bible. They will not give you the practical to make sure the work of the faith. That's why it says, faith without work is dead. They will tell you, with faith you can move mountain. Without telling you that when you tell yourself, I can move this mountain, you cannot move it with praying. You need to go and start pushing the mountain. Or go and start digging the mountain and pushing it to somewhere else. You need to apply something physical, practical. Because the faith is that dream has come. I have faith I can achieve this dream. Then you take a shovel or you take yourself to the mountain and start pushing it. That's actually, when you talk about Elon, you see Elon today, Elon Musk. The first thing that propelled him was the dream. Second thing was faith. I can achieve this dream. Then the main thing is working towards achieving this dream. That work makes him Elon that you are hearing today. Everybody is celebrating today. If he was reading the Bible and in church, pastor is praying every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, night vigil, do you think Elon will be the world richest? No, he will not. He achieved his dream because he had faith in himself. He had faith he can achieve and he worked towards it. Come to your education system. Education system will teach you 1 + 1 is 2. Then what? Then what? If education system tell you when you mix CO2 plus when you mix CO2 from plus this, you get a gas. Or when you do this, you put this together, you get this, without showing you how to do it. It is a faith without work. And that is something we are missing or lacking in our curriculum, in our education system. Practical education. That is the reason why China transitioned so fast. That is the reason why China is on top of the world. Because they understand that our education system is manipulated, and because there is no practical in this education system, that's why there is high level of unemployment in Africa. High level of unemployment. Because you go and learn how to speak English, the highest you become an employee. You are going to school to become an employee, not to become an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurs are those who go and barb, or you go to be apprentice. That is practical education. Those are the ones who becomes entrepreneur because they went to learn about money. They did not go to, for them to tell them that 50 naira plus 50 naira is 100 naira. And then what? At the end of the day, how is it going to help you in the world you are living in? Practical education is the work. Theory education is the faith. So this thing is what is the pastor is doing with us. In your religious doctrine, they get the book, they tell you the theory, because the practical of the book is it's not going to make money for them. But the theory, they can manipulate the theory, because the practical is something you cannot manipulate. That's why they give you theory. They don't give you practical. Yet they tell you faith without work is dead. Education, academics without practical is nothing. Highest you will go and be speaking one grammar, being a receptionist, answering phone. Does that make you educated person with PhD? You find people, they go to study to become a PhD holder to intimidate you with their grammar. At the end of the day, they can boast of nothing. They cannot innovate anything. They just speak grammar without using it to do anything productive. Have you now seen that our system of education is actually, it is not helping us at all. That is the reason why you find first class people, first class upper. They are employees. And you find second class upper, maybe they will become the representatives in court. And you find those third class, maybe they are more successful employing the first class. You find those who didn't go to school, they are billionaires employing all these people. Lawyer, employee, first class, lawyer, third class, and the other one. You find a billionaire who never go to school, employing them, using them. So what is essence? In essence, what is actually the value of the education you spend all your life, almost all your life pursuing? Education without practical is nothing. It's like faith without work. It is like going to church every day, 7 days a week, praying for a miracle to happen. That is education, only academics without practical. I am telling you the honest truth. If they cannot practicalize it, come out. Go look for something to do. Because you are going to be employed. That's why there is a lot of unemployment in Africa. Because you are going to school to be employed. Government does not create employment in Africa. So going to school to be employed, not going to school to employ people. So you see the level of unemployment increase each and every year where there is graduation. The level of unemployed increase because there is none of these graduates that is going to create employment for other people. They were given half education, theory. They were not shown how to do it. They were taught how to speak English. They will tell you doctor, PhD. Satan, get behind me. That is the type of education system and the religious system that you have. Both of them are working against you. But when we talk about these things, somebody want to fight you. They want to fight you because you tell them the truth. Maybe with the education system, they will agree with you. It does not concern their spiritual. It does not concern the spiritual. And that education system was introduced to you by your colonial master. The religious system, it was introduced to you by your colonial master. So who is your problem? Who is your problem? So we are bringing this program to an end until we meet again. You stay safe and stay informed. Now I believe that nobody I wanted, if there is anybody who is in Nigeria, who has experienced Nigerian medical facility and their processes, should call and tell us about it. But I believe that those in the audience, none of you want to call or to share your experience with Nigerian medical system. But that's by the way. Let me check the comment before we call it a day, because I can't wait to call it a day. So we are on YouTube comment section. Let's see. Okay, almost here Biafra Chidimma and the Chidimma Ehirim. God bless our leader MNK. And the Nigeria government Freema Zendam Lekan. It is not just their company. Okay, it's talking about Britain. Word of mouth just money, and which is revenues and Chidimma Ehirim and Remy Jovi. Word of mouth is just money. I like the way you destroy them. Continue, don't stop. We will continue. We must continue. Amarachi Oba, well done Maze, well done, and Python, just good job, Judge Barry. Let's check YouTube, Facebook. Oh, I can't stay over. Okay, let's check a few comments on YouTube. Not much comments. Salute, greetings, and we go to. Let's see if there is anybody. We need to start a war. That's the way only. You cannot start a war without plan. Before you start a war, you must have a plan. If you don't plan, you are starting to fail. So any war, anything that you are doing, there is engagement, there is negotiation, there is a diplomatic move. So all these things will determine whether we are going to go through the route of carrying arms. Because of course, if it gets to that point, it is still also obtainable. Because now everybody is running to Sudan. Evacuating their people, saying that gun silent in Africa, but they will not want to tackle the reason why there is gun noise in Africa, but they want to say gun silent in Africa. So these are hypocrisy of African Union and international communities. So, but we are going towards that dimension with the activities of these militaries. It might as well lead to that point. Greetings. I love Biafra. Good. I love Biafra. Biafra is good to me and for people. Okay, let's fight for our right. How we must fight? We are fighting for our right already. We are fighting. That's what we are doing. So let's go. If we keep complaining, they will not leave us. We have to complain, because complaint brings us to the round table. If the round table doesn't work, then we assess other proceedings, because what we are doing now right now is what we need to do, and we will continue to do it. When the time that there is no other option, if war is the last option, it is the last option basically. If we are going to go through that process of 1967, of course we will go there if need be, because we must be free. We must be free. We cannot bequeath our children the life in infamy. We need to make sure that we bequeath them with a life that is worthy of living. So that's exactly what we need to do. I saw your comment and I see I saw your opinions. Keep them coming. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay informed. I wish we can continue. We still have a lot to talk about, but we can't. I cannot continue.